everyone, welcome back. Pajama family here. Have you ever wanted to do something so bad even though your mom, dad or teacher said it wasn't a great idea? Guess what? That's exactly what happened to the children of Israel. Today's memory verse is taken from the book of 1 Samuel 12 verse 22, which says, "For the sake of his name, the Lord was pleased to make us his own." Today's takeaway is God's grace is good news for all of us. Right now, I would ask Kellys to join me for a little game. So Kellys, I have a few items in this box and I would like you to tell me what I would say if you broke any of these items.
You'd feel very angry if I broke this. I'd say quite angry, not that angry, but quite angry. Or certainly my dad would be very angry.
Did you hear that? Moms and dads are sad or upset and sometimes get very angry when we break some items in the house. But they still love you. Do you know that sometimes God is like mom and dad?
Really?
Yes, he gets disappointed when we do something wrong or make a wrong decision, but he still loves us. And above all, he gives us something special called grace.
Grace. That's a word I don't use very often. Would you tell me what it means? I'm sure my friends would like to know too.
Tell you what, I will show you from the Bible what grace is. In this story, God is even more loving than our moms and dads. He never ever stops being glad that he chose you to be his child. Let's take our Bible and read from the book of 1 Samuel 12 verse 16 to 18.
I'm reading from the NIV version. 1 Samuel 12 to 16 to 18. Now then, stand still and see this great thing the Lord is about to do before your own eyes. Is it not wheat harvest now? I can call on the Lord to send thunder and rain. And you realize what an evil thing you did in the eyes of the Lord when you asked for a king. Then Samuel called on the Lord, and that same day the Lord sent thunder and rain. So all the people stood in awe of the Lord and Samuel.
Do you remember the story?
Wait a minute. Is it the story with Moses when he led the people into the Red Sea? Wait, no. Why am I being so silly? It's the story when the Israelites asked for a king, but God was already their king.
Yes, the Israelites went to Prophet Samuel and they wanted a king. All the other nations at that time had kings and they also wanted something similar. Now Samuel was not very happy with the Israelites. Do you know why?
Wait a minute, just like I said, because God was already the king. He took care of them, he led them, he loved them. A human king wouldn't do that well.
Definitely not. But do you know what? The Israelites didn't want to listen at all. They still wanted a king. And so Samuel had to talk to God, and God gave them the king. The king led the Israelites and won the battles for them. The Israelites were ready to celebrate the king. So Samuel suggested that they should go to Gilgal and offer sacrifices to God too, even as they celebrate the king.
Wait, so they're going to Gilgal to celebrate the king. But in the verse I read, Samuel called upon God, who was angry at them.
Yes, he was angry at them, but he still loved the children of Israelites, even though he was angry at them. He still gave them this king. It was because of God, that's why they had King Saul. Samuel reminded them, you have asked for a king and God has given you one. You will not always like what the king asks you to do, but you have to respect him, and above all, be faithful to God.
The Israelites were making a mistake. Kings could be bossy, take the money, even send their sons to war.
Samuel told God about it. And do you know what God said? Listen to them even if they do not want me and they keep rejecting me to be their king. Give them a king. And God sent them rain and thunder.
The Israelites were afraid, and they said, we are sorry. It says so here in 1 Samuel 12 verse 22. For the sake of his great name, the Lord will not reject his people, because the Lord was pleased to make you his own. God didn't reject them, even though they rejected him.
You see, that is grace. Even though the Israelites were making a mistake, God still loved them. Did you catch that?
Yeah, even though they were making a bad decision, God didn't stop loving them. He didn't leave them. That's grace. I understand now. Grace is when God gives us his love, forgiveness, and blessings, even when we don't deserve it.
Our story today shows us that God loves us even when we don't deserve it. He still shows us that grace. So tell me, how has God shown grace to you today? Maybe it's through your family members, your friends, how he forgives you when you have done something wrong. Take a moment to think about it. Remember, grace is the best gift ever, and God loves you.
Like and subscribe.